What is up, lovely people? Chef Joel Gammon here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here at Homemade. I could not. I am so over the moon. I cannot even hold back the excitement for today's recipe because it's so comforting. It screams spring, and it's one of those recipes that any day, anywhere, whoever you're cooking for, you bust this out and your life is that much easier and people are that much happier. We are making the most intoxicating, delicious, crave-worthy mushroom rice with jammy eggs. This is a stellar recipe, and I could not be more excited for you guys to be here with me. If this is the first time we've ever met, hi, I'm Joel. I'm the head chef of Homemade. I'm going to be your fearless Sherpa through making this amazing, comforting dish today. What makes this really cool and what makes Homemade special is that this is totally interactive. So you can talk to me in real time, you can engage with us, you can ask questions, I'm gonna ask you questions. That's what makes this really cool, I think. And the way that you do that is you talk to our buddy and producer here at Homemade, Mary. Hi, Mary, how are you?
Hello, I'm so good, and I am everyone's buddy. Nice
Yes.
to see the folks in the chat today. We have some regulars, and we have Tina all the way from Halifax.
Oh,
I just love it.
I love it. That's awesome. Hi, Tina.
And-
I have to ask you, Mary. So we obviously test our recipes a gazillion times here in the Homemade Studios. Mary, you tried this recipe, and you told me before we started it's like top of the list. Yeah.
Yeah, do you guys ever have that meal that you keep dreaming about after you left
Yes.
work because you ate it at work and you work at a cooking show? Yeah, it's sort of like that. It is so good, and it tastes great for several days, and I can attest to that. Yeah, I'm
like-
stoked. I'm stoked too.
I have to say the room right now smells so rich and like umami, and you're just getting all these beautiful flavors. This is just one of those recipes you wouldn't expect to be so good, and then you try it and you're like, I'm making this every week. What makes it really approachable, besides obviously the ingredients, is what we're cooking in. And I don't think people realize this, but the moment is now for a really great rice cooker. And we had to find a great one to partner with, and we found a stellar one. And so we've partnered with Aroma. If you guys have never heard of Aroma, what separates Aroma's appliances from all the other appliances out there, super affordable, unbelievably reliable. Okay, kind of like this recipe. Like these ingredients you can find anywhere, right? And you know it's gonna be good every time. That's kind of how Aroma approaches the kitchen. It arms us. Aroma arms us with these tools, with this equipment, with this gear, so you know things are gonna turn out. And this is a rice and grain cooker. It's a 6-cupper, and this is plenty for my family of 4. It is awesome. It is so versatile. One of the biggest mistakes is that people think that you can only cook rice in a rice and grain cooker. Obviously, you can cook grain too, but we're going to talk and kind of break down why you should be cooking in a rice cooker more often and why you should be turning to Aroma every single time. But let's get cooking. We got this. We are going to start out with making kind of the rice, the base to this incredible recipe. So we've got some jasmine rice here. And I have to say, as a chef, people are scared of cooking 3 things. They always come to me and say, there's 3 things I'm totally freaked out of. 1, fish. 2, what are you freaked out of? I'm going to say eggs.
Okay,
People are
yeah,
really-
no,
I don't know
it's
why
that one.
eggs.
It's that one. For
Right,
me.
and 3 is rice. People are really worried about rice. They either scorch it, or they undercook it, or overcook it, or it's mushy, or whatever. This is why you need to invest in an Aroma rice cooker. It is precision every single time, and it will keep it warm. So you don't have to worry about timing. You can turn it on, go do something else, grab an email, and it's perfect, reliable. It's got your back. But what's important is to kind of rinse your rice first. So I've got some jasmine rice here. I'm doing this in like a bowl. I would typically just do this in the sink, but I wanted you guys to kind of see what's going on. If you don't rinse your rice, it can get a little bit sticky. Like, have you ever had that, Mary, where it's just like, yeah, kind of like...
Oh, yeah. I call it gloopy. What do we think of that term?
It's not gluten.
No, gloopy.
Oh,
Gloopy. It's sort of that like
Oh, I
gloppy, gloopy texture.
I think gloopy is a new technical word that we
Okay,
like
perfect.
word
I
that
love
we
to
need
bring
to
them
take
here.
into the kitchen. But What you can see here, and I wanted to demo, is I just dipped my rice in this clear water. This was just normal water from the sink. And I'm just washing off, but look how much starch. Look at the water color, look at the viscosity, look how thick it is. When I pull it up, it kind of draws out this big kind of line that stays kind of creamy. This starch on the rice makes a big difference between tasting each individual kernel and it sticking together. So you want to give it a good rinse. In the sink, a couple of, 2 or 3 kind of passes through with the hand. In the bowl, you just want to give it a good dip like this, and you're good to go. Really, really simple. So I've got my jasmine rice. I'm going to kind of shake off all the excess water. And then I'm going to move over here. Actually, I'm going to pull this out. And I'm going to move over here to the Aroma rice and grain cooker. So again, I think even though you have a rice and grain cooker like Aroma, this has multi-layers. So you can imagine everyday rice cookers kind of look like this. This comes with a stainless steel insert, okay? This is so crucial. This is also stainless steel. This actual base here makes it so easy for cleaning, okay? That is huge. It is also BPA friendly, non-toxic, so important when it comes to sustainable cooking, all right? So we've got our stainless steel bowl, and I'm gonna take our rice out, and at this point I've shaken off all the water, and I'm just putting it in the bottom of the bowl. And by the way, it comes with a measuring cup, and it has little measuring lines in here, but because this has a little extra moisture, we measured out 1.25 cups of water. You just kind of pour that in. So I wanna make sure everyone can kind of see that. We got 1.25 cups of water and 1 cup of jasmine rice that we rinsed. Cool, how are we all tracking so far?
We are totes tracking. Can I ask you a question
gosh,
before you
it.
throw that out? Before you throw that out.
Oh yeah, you want me to drink it? What's going on here?
Do you know what you could use that for? Joe had a great tip in the chat.
No, tell me. What can you use?
This is not an
scrappy.
everyday
I'm
thing.
excited.
This is crazy.
Okay.
You know who loves rice starch water is your plants.
Really?
Yeah.
Joe, why is that? Can you throw that in the chat?
Yeah,
why
definitely.
is that? I'm dying to know that.
Joe, if you are a plant scientist, let us know.
I know.
But also, we're going to do our own research on this too.
Should we do
just
a little,
love
okay,
the
I've got a
jumping
plant
off
behind
point.
me. Here.
Okay, perfect.
Joe,
Perfect. Let's test
look what's
it.
happening. I love it. Okay, give it a little bit of extra rice food.
Perfect. And it's also great for hair. So we
I don't have a lot of that.
Well, we can sort of test
so we're
that
gonna,
out.
Yeah, we're going to pass on that one today. I have
Joe.
to say, Joe, that's a great tip. I have to say, I kind of get the intimidation of rice. I will say, way back when I was first starting out cooking, I catered a wedding, maybe 60 people. It wasn't like a giant wedding, but it was a wedding, and it was someone's special day. And I had to make rice for 60 people, and I burned the bottom of the rice. Now, I didn't know that. It looked like great fluffy rice. So I spooned it out onto a bowl and got it all going. And then I tasted a little bit after I sent it out to the wedding party and everyone. And I looked on the bottom and I'm like, it's totally burnt. And the whole rice took on the burnt flavor. I don't know if anyone's ever done that. Have you done that?
Yes,
It's
but
traumatizing.
for a catering of one, just sort of for me. And then I go, I'll just eat off the top and it should be fine.
It doesn't.
No.
The whole rice takes it on. So again, this is why you choose Aroma. It's not even worth the risk. You can do stovetop, but it's hard. It's like manual car versus automatic car. Can we just embrace the automatic? So, all right, rice, water in a bowl. I've got mirin, which is Chinese cooking one, unbelievably sweet, beautiful, kind of floral. So that's going to go in. And we're kind of making this quick little broth to cook the actual rice in. So mirin in. I've got toasted sesame seed oil, sesame oil. Sesame oil is kind of like truffle oil in my mind. You can overdo it. Okay? I think you can overdo truffle oil. I've had pastas and things where they're truffle pasta, and you eat it and you're like, ugh, it's just so much. Same with sesame. Just a little bit goes a long way. And then I've got soy sauce. If you're gluten-free, go tamari, which is awesome, but that's going right in. And then, of course, Aroma. They've thought of everything. By the way, how cute. It's just a cute little appliance. I love it. But they have a perfect little spoon/spatula, so we're just going to use this to kind of mix this broth. You can see it's already kind of looking like a chicken stock. Now, I want to call out what makes this recipe genius is that you can obviously cook your grain on the bottom, and there's a lot of other things you can cook, and we'll talk about it. but then you layer in the steaming tray on top. And so we're actually going to do 3 layers because you're going to see what we're going to steam on top of this. But this is why this is great. It is dinner, lunch, breakfast in one vessel. And in today's day and age, especially summer, I don't need 15 pans. I don't want to get out every single appliance I have. One appliance where I can save the energy bill, cook it, not worry about it being burnt is perfect by me. All right. Any questions on this so far, like the broth? We are going to put a pinch of salt in there as well. It just plays really nicely with the soy. Cool. All right, now to spike this broth even more and to make it just that much more aromatic and delicious. I think this thing fell a little bit. We are going to take some garlic and ginger and grate it up. All right? So when you take ginger, big misconception. You have to peel ginger. You do not need to peel ginger. You should clean ginger, rinse it under the water because the outside, who knows where it's been, but you don't need to peel it. So I take a little microplane, that's what this is called, and I just like an eraser, just kind of rub it. And we want about a tablespoon here. So I just grab kind of like a thumb-sized piece of ginger and just kind of rub it.
Joel, I have a question for you.
Yes, yes.
So how do you like to store your ginger? When you've gotten a fresh piece of ginger from the store, you're going to cut into it. Maybe you won't use this whole piece. Maybe you will, but say you won't. How do you store that? Do you put it uncovered in the fridge?
Yeah, you can go in the fridge. I'm usually like out at room temp. It will stay good for a couple of weeks. In the fridge, it will stay probably good for about a month. You can freeze ginger, and it's absolutely great. Like, and you know, little nubs and like the ends and stuff like that make really good tea. Obviously great for broths, things like that. So awesome. We got about a tablespoon of that, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing with garlic. This microplane, by the way, I mean, like, if you don't have, this is like a top 5 kitchen tool for me. You can get it on Amazon for like 15 bucks, but it just grates things so fine. Cheese, chocolate, even nuts. It's really nice, just kind of grated on there. So we've got grated ginger, grated garlic, and even just on my board right now, it smells so good. So I'm just gonna gather that on my knife, and I'm gonna take the whole thing over to my aroma and right in and just stir that up. And I'm telling you, this thing haven't even started cooking yet, and it smells ungodly. It smells so good and just so comforting. So I'm going to actually turn it on. And again, this is what separates aroma from so many different places. It is one button, one function, and it just sends it. So it's cooking at this point. So nice. And then when it's done cooking, it will keep it warm and it will be ready as you need it. So that is doing its thing. We're now going to steam on top of the actual rice, and we're going to do that in 2 layers. So the first layer is going to be mushrooms, all right? By the way, my wife hates mushrooms. Is there any other, like, why is that face crazy? Mary just made a crazy face.
I mean, the wife, I know your wife, and the wife of a chef, I imagine she's a pretty spirited eater, and no mushrooms for her ever?
She doesn't like the mushrooms. She doesn't like the texture of it, but I've made a similar dish to this that kind of takes in and gets steamed. She likes it. It's very strange. Like, mushrooms are not a thing, but when you cook them in a certain way, she really likes them. So
love it.
Yeah, we have got 3 mushrooms here today, and I'm going to ask you guys, what are these 3 mushrooms? Let's get them on the board. So let's go in order. This will be mushroom number 1. This will be mushroom number 2, and this will be mushroom number 3. So who can put it in the chat? I want to just call out while I'm waiting for you guys to put it in the chat. It's springtime, and here in the Pacific Northwest, that means mushroom time. It is wet, a little bit sunshine, so these just grow and they're beautiful. And obviously, you know, mushrooms to me, they don't have to be expensive. You don't have to get the wild ones, the really, really, you know, expensive ones. Look for things like shiitake, buttons, portobellos. Those are all super affordable. So, all right, what did everyone say in the chat? Does anyone have an idea of what we got here?
I don't think we do quite yet.
Okay, no problem.
But would you like to hear what some folks are making in their aroma cookers?
Yes, always.
Or in rather their rice cooker. I asked for the weirdest thing that they've made. We've got Rice Krispie treats in college.
Stop.
Duh.
Oh, that's genius.
Yeah, that is the move.
Okay, that's genius.
And then, you know, just a classic whole chicken. Just like a whole chicken.
Someone put a whole chicken in an aroma rice and grain. Okay,
just in a rice cooker. That hopefully it was big enough. And you know what?
Trending.
Aroma has two sizes.
I would say cooking in a rice cooker is trending so hard, and it's not just with like a college demographic. That is a total that is a part of the community. It's everybody. It's everybody who wants to save space, save time, and not have to stress about it. All right, yes, Mary.
Okay, and now we have a couple mushroom answers.
All right, let's hear.
So I'm assuming we're going left to right when people are saying 1, 2, 3. Oyster, enoki maybe, shiitake is one from Steph. Let's see, we also have oyster, beach, and then shiitake. Okay, people are really thinking that's shiitake.
I love it. Okay,
Hen in the
shiitake
woods?
is correct. That's what I'm cutting right now.
Okay.
This is a really, really affordable mushroom, and it's meaty and umami and rich. I love shiitakes. If you can find big ones like this, they're awesome. Okay, so this is the first one, shiitake. Whoever said beach, that's these guys. They're a little bit sweeter, and they're just a little different, right? They kind of pop in your mouth, but I like to pull them apart, kind of like string cheese, and just kind of plop them on top. You don't even have to chop them, right? So easy, and I think they're really cute too. It's nice to mix mushrooms instead of just do one. You can totally just do one, but they each have like their own personality. They have their own texture.
I always forget to do that at the store, and I achieve. Oh yeah, like I get so intimidated by big mushrooms like that.
Really?
I
Like
just
crazy
go,
ones?
I go for like creminis a lot, and
Yes.
I forget. You guys can make it a confetti mushroom dish. Like you
Make it
can
a
bring
confetti.
anything.
Yes, I love it. So this mushroom is called hen of the woods. Out of every mushroom in the world, this is my favorite mushroom. It kind of looks like it's got like feathers, so that's why it's called hen of the woods. But also, when you roast it up, it's incredibly it almost has like a chicken flavor to it. So this one has such an interesting personality. They're harder to find, but honestly, I find them a lot more places these days. So I kind of take them off their little root, and I just kind of crumble them in, and that's it. These little bits freeze, and you can use for stock, but really we're kind of just after the tops here. So we've got nice mixed mushrooms. This is awesome. So this is like our vegetable on the rice, but you could use other things. You could do bell peppers, you could do zucchinis. And what we're going to do is we're going to take them and just place them right on top of our broth, right? And this is the steam level number 1. So you can imagine we've got our rice below, which is our grain, but it could be quinoa, it could be farro, it could be brown rice, it could be so many different things. I'm really into cauliflower rice. It could totally be cauliflower rice. And then we have got our broth and then our mushrooms right on top. Cool? Really, really simple. Any questions about just that stage, the mushrooms or anything like that?
None at the moment.
Okay, great.
Have you seen hen of the woods being more brown or being grayer rather than brown?
I've seen them both colors.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
That was a little question that
good
popped
question.
up. Nice.
Okay, we talked about this next feature, which I think is just a game changer with weeknight cooking, healthy cooking, which is the steamer tray. Most rice cookers in the world do not come with this, all right? They absolutely do not come with a stainless steel one that is easy to clean. So this fits right on top, and this, obviously, the steam from the rice is going to go up through these holes, and it's going to cook whatever's going on top. So you don't need to get another pan out, nothing like that, and you can cook something else here. Today we're going to do eggs, but you could imagine this could be a gorgeous piece of salmon. This could be beautiful prawns. This could be tofu. Anything that kind of can just fit up here, and you can stack that up nice and high. So I'm going to close this for right now. Actually, let's put our eggs in. So at this point, we've got 4 eggs. And I don't think people know this, but steaming eggs is like the way to go because steam is so gentle with the egg whites that it actually, this is why these eggs come out so fudgy and perfect. So we cover this. The eggs will take about 18 minutes. The rest of the recipe will take about maybe 25, 30 minutes. And again, the cooker kind of knows what's going on. So one button, it senses it, and we're good to go. Now, I want to talk about rice cookers in general, what you could be doing with your aroma rice and grain cooker outside of rice and grain. So we're going to play a little game. It's called Will It
Rice Cook? Okay, obviously this is a very high-tech game, so everyone bear with me. So it's a simple yes or no answer,
Yes.
Joel.
And I will answer, but I want you guys to answer in the chat too.
So
So the game is you're going to name a dish.
I sure am.
We're going to decide will it rice cook.
So
Okay?
the first
How many
one,
do we have? Like 5?
We have about 5.
Okay, cool.
First one, let's maybe start easy.
Okay.
Oatmeal. Folks, will oatmeal rice cook? Let's really think about it.
Okay, the answer is not only will oatmeal rice cook, it is 40,000 times better in a rice cooker because you can turn it on kind of like a coffee machine, go shower, go brush your teeth, come on down, it will stay warm for you. Spike it with a little brown sugar, maple, add in berries, maybe a little bit of cream, and it will just hang out, and it will just be ready for you, not overcooked, not get mushy, still have that al dente texture. So the answer, will oatmeal aroma cook, I should say, yes.
Yes, it will aroma cook.
What's next?
Just the slew of yeses is cracking me
Yes.
up. People are like, yes,
Yes.
all caps. Okay, let's go a little harder.
Okay.
Soup. Will it rice cook? Will it aroma cook?
Yes. What's the
Yeah,
next
we're getting a ton of yeses. Okay, what about, I don't know, cheesecake? Let's talk about
Throw
it.
in a little cheesecake.
Folks, will you be able to create a cheesecake
Will you be able to
in
create
your
cheesecake
cooker?
in a rice cooker? Has anyone ever done that? Here's my answer to that. And I think you get the theme of this. Cheesecake in a rice cooker will be an oven every single time because the rice cooker is very even heat with aroma. It's got the stainless steel and the steam is so gentle. We talked about how gentle it is on the eggs. Same thing with something like a cheesecake or any type of cake. If you want the fudgiest, the most moist brownies of your life, make it in the Aroma rice and grain cooker. You don't realize it, but it can do it. It's unbelievable. What are people saying in the chat?
Just 3 words, Japanese cheesecake.
Yes.
Oh, I guess 2 words.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really that,
jiggly.
like, the jiggly cheesecake. We love that.
I love that.
And
Give me the next one.
Debbie C had a great question before we move on. How do you get the cooked cheesecake out?
Well, you grease it up and it will come right out, and actually the steam will help it release.
Oh, amazing.
So it's not a big deal at all. But you can also line it with a little paper liner if you want. Yeah. good
Love it.
question.
Love it. Okay, what about you want to make your own, I don't know, ricotta or cheese or curds?
That's a great idea. So milk, right, and yogurt and things like that, they need a very gentle temperature or else they split in the wrong time and they don't kind of curdle the right way. So this is perfect for that even temp, gentle temp that I was talking about. Yes, you can make your own ricotta, mozzarella, goat cheese. I know a lot of people who use their rice cooker for that. All right, what's the next 2? Because I'm going to get to this last.
Okay.
Give me the next 2. We'll do them at the same time.
Yogurt.
Oh, yogurt. Yes, we nailed that. What's the last one?
Fried rice. So not the element of rice and then adding in a fried egg after.
But like actual
fried rice in your cooker.
Where did that come from? Is that
From
just your brain?
our culinary producer, Meg. This was maybe an
I
extra
mean,
one
yes,
we didn't
you
tell
can make
stuff
fried
about.
rice in the rice cooker, but I would say you probably want to saute that first and kind of get those crispy bits. But then you can add it to your rice cooker, and it will be great. So
Set
you
it
can
and
totally
forget
do
it.
that.
Set it and forget it. We
I
love
love
it.
it.
Okay, look at those peeled shallots.
I
so
know.
beautiful.
So what we thought would be fun is just while this is cooking for a second, obviously we're not going to make you guys sit through this entire thing, but we thought we'd just show you a fun little garnish on top of this. Since this is such a silky kind of just smooth, beautiful dish, it's nice to give it some texture, right? Because you have those jammy, kind of velvety eggs and that really glossy, gorgeous rice. But to have a little crispy bite on top is nice. So this is a common technique in Chinese cooking where you can fry up garlic or onions or in this case shallots. So we just slice them really thin, right? I love shallots because they're a little sweeter. They don't have that onion punch like so many onions do, but you could totally do this with onions. By the way, I want to say on the rice cooker topic, one time I went on a boat trip. I was in like 6th grade. I signed up for like an experience at school where teachers took us. It was pretty fun. And there was a stove on the boat that we were going to like cook from and eat from for a couple of days, but it died in the middle of the water. And so they had a rice cooker on board. So we had to kind of cook everything in the rice cooker. And honestly, it was so good. Like we steamed crab in it. We obviously made rice and so many different things. We had eggs in the morning. You just don't realize how versatile it is until you've kind of like put it to the test. You guys will love it. All right. So we take one of these and we just kind of test the oil. I've just got some vegetable oil here. You can see it just kind of bubbles up. We're not going to dust this with any flour. or anything crazy. We just kind of fry them. And basically, you know they're done when they turn golden brown and when they stop talking to you. So when they stop boiling or frying like this. So the bubbles become smaller. You can all definitely like hear the difference. So we're just gonna let these cook for just a second. In the meanwhile, I've got a little plate here with a towel. And I'm just kind of stirring this around and doing my thing. Looks so good. Now, while this is cooking, I do want to call out, some people love kind of the look of the stainless steel aroma rice and grain cooker. So I just want to show you guys what this looks like. I'm going to pull it over here. All right. You can see it's like my little baby. It is like, it just holds right here.
Oh, just right in the crook. It's perfect.
It is nice. So this one also comes with an insert. It has a couple more functions to it. So if you're really specific about kind of the brown rice, the quinoa, it has those, right? Versus this one, which has the button. So it's totally up to you. Again, super simple, super user-friendly, not a crazy interface. Everything we love about Aroma, but if you're into the stainless steel, just want to let you guys know that is an option. All right. Cool. So I'm just kind of getting this out, and it's starting, you can see just kind of on the edges, it's starting to turn brown. So we're going to let that do its thing. And while that's doing its thing, a nice garnish on top of this rice is scallion. I love a little fresh green onion on top. So what I do with this is I actually look for the scallion where the white meets the green, right here. And I cut it and separate it right there. So I'm going to do that again just so you guys can see. Find where the green kind of meets the whiter green. Cut it. All right. We're going to save these for a different time. These would actually be killer steamed. I'm going to put them my eggs here. I want to eat these later. So I'm just going to steam them up. Can we go to a top down real quick, Richard, so everyone can see that? So I kind of just nestled them by my eggs. You can do that, right? You can add vegetables on top of things. Steam will kind of find its way to everything. But with these are going to be just a beautiful little garnish. So what I do is I kind of just hold them, and on a bias, right? A bias means not straight down, but kind of to the side. I cut really long, beautiful shards of my scallion. How beautiful are these? And a great restaurant tip, we used to do this in the restaurant all the time, is to toss it into ice water, and that will keep it like crazy crisp. You don't have to do it, but it's a nice little tip. All right, so we take that onto a board, and then I've got some ice water here. I'm just gonna move that over, and you just kind of add that in, and it will just kind of stay crisp for you when you're ready for it. Really simple, kind of fun. That's great. And literally, once you toss it through, you can take some out, and you can see it just stands straight up, like at attention. Look at that. Can we get close in, Richard? It's so funny to me. I just, like, it's such a, look at how it just stands up, right? It doesn't flop over like normal scallions. It's kind of funny. So this just makes like a very firm, beautiful scallion standing at attention. I love it. All right. So let's check our little shallot experiment here. We're just stirring this around. You can see it's still frying away, but it's really starting to turn kind of golden brown. It's looking awesome. And you just want to kind of let this take its time. If you rush it, they're going to be kind of floppy and sad. And if you get it right at the right time, it's like one of the best toppers to salad and soups and things like that. All right, let's just recap real quick, because we've been doing a lot of stuff. The very first thing we did was we rinsed our rice, right? We had jasmine rice. We added that into our aroma rice and grain cooker with a little bit of water. Okay, we added some soy sauce, some mirin, and a little bit of sesame oil. And then we added garlic and ginger that we grated on the microplane, and we add that right in, kind of to make a quick little broth. We added a pinch of salt in there too. We pressed on, and that started to cook. We sliced up some mushrooms. We added that on top of the rice. And then we put our insert, the aroma insert, right on top, put some eggs in there. We even threw some scallions in there, because why not? And we started cooking away. So then what we did is we took some shallots, and we're just shallow frying this in a little bit of oil. And you can see, look at them. They're starting to happen. They're really close. And you kind of pull them right when you think they're just below done, because they're going to kind of continue to fry even out of the fryer. So this is the time where you don't want to go do anything. You just kind of want to hang with it and do it. This looks and smells so good. All right. So I have a little slotted spoon here. I'm going to pull these out right onto a little kitchen towel. How good do those look? So fun. Golden brown and delicious. And it smells so good. How are we doing in the chat? Any questions, thoughts?
Fabulous. Fabulously. I have a quick question about those shallots. Are we salting when we fry something like that?
Yes, you want to salt at the end. The only difference with this one is we have enough salt in the dish itself, so I don't think we need it. I think this will just be a nice little crunch, but typically we would. All right. Now, we didn't want to make you guys wait the 18 minutes for the eggs, and that is the exact right time for the eggs. So we have a couple of eggs. What I like to do is once the eggs are steamed, pull out the aroma top, right? And what's nice is it has these kind of handles right here. These do not get hot. This is steaming right now. If I open this up, you can see steam is coming out. This thing is hot on the inside, but totally cool to the touch on the outside. So really nice design there. And we take the eggs out, we put them in a little bit of an ice bath, and that shocks them and stops them from cooking. And then we just kind of roll them on a little kind of board like this, and we just start to peel. Fudgy eggs are the type of egg where they're cooked through. This one's sticking a little bit. I'm going to try and do another one. But they're cooked through, but just a little bit soft on the middle. Let's see if this one peels a little bit better. I might have waited too long in the cold water with these guys. Oh,
and Joel, if we cook up a bunch of these ahead of time, like on a Monday, could you still eat some of these soft-boiled eggs on a Friday?
Yes, totally.
Always, right?
Yep.
These keep forever.
These keep great. And honestly, if you want to keep them hot, or if you want to eat them hot, just throw them on top, right? Just plop them right in for 5 minutes, already cooked, and they'll just kind of rewarm gently. But this is what we're looking for. So I've got an egg right here. I'm just going to kind of wash it off in our cold ice water. And then this is what a jammy egg looks like. I'm just going to open this up, and this is the difference with aroma and everything else. Do you see how that's literally soft and custardy in the middle?
That's just
Here's
perfect.
another one that we did just ahead of time so you can see. This one shows it a little bit more pronounced. But it's not oozing. That's not a jammy egg. Jammy egg is a soft interior, right? But just glistening, just so glistening. So we got our eggs. We got our crispy little shallots. We've got all of our beautiful green onions. So now we want to just show you what this looks like at this point. So at this point, we didn't want it ahead of time, so I'm just going to move this out. Oh, this smells so good. I just can't even tell you. So I just want everyone to be able to see the mushrooms themselves at this point are totally cooked. Like if I eat one, they're tender, they're hydrated. You actually pick up a little bit of soy. And what I do is I kind of use this little spatula that actually, like I said, comes with the aroma and kind of fold underneath. And you can see there's a little crispy bit on the bottom. That is what you want. And you just kind of fold this up. Oh my gosh, look at this. Kind of looks like brown rice. Perfectly cooked, fluffy, absolutely falling apart. So good. Smells incredible. All right. So I don't know if anyone's ever had like congee or that vibe, but this is the vibe where you're just like, oh, pure comfort. Congee is a Chinese kind of rice stew almost. Yeah, it's almost like risotto, but even thinner. And this is obviously thicker than that, but it kind of reminds me of that. It's just so comforting. Look at that.
It's the warmth and the, I think, beef broth. There's something that just feels so cozy about
the sesame,
it.
Yeah. It's everything. And you can see I'm handling this bowl, right? It came out of the steamer. This is still hot to the touch, but the lips are not. So again, it goes back to why aroma is so different. This is so easy to clean, but also so user-friendly. Like you're not going to scorch yourself. Sometimes when you're steaming, everyone gets really worried because it's really hot. We've thought about that. Aroma has thought about that. It's great.
Quick question before we move on from Dorothy. Would this work with Japanese short grain rice? Would you know?
Absolutely. It will work with any rice you can find. My mother-in-law just got back from Italy and brought me black rice, the narrow rice, which is like squid ink rice. It would work with that. It'd be great. Good question. All right. One little trick, you don't have to do this, but it's nice to kind of richen it up a little bit. Add a little bit of butter while it's still hot. Right in. The butter will melt, and some sesame seeds. And that just adds a little toastiness. a little bit of richness, so we just kind of fold that through. We do this with risotto too. Like, you just at the very end add just a little bit of butter. It doesn't have to be a crazy amount, but it does just kind of like keep those grains separate and just adds a nice little glossy richness at the very end. Oh, this is just a dream. This is, and I've said this before, it's just some dishes that we make here at Homemade. This is one of those dishes that you will want to make on a weekly basis. It's not just easy, it's just so crave-worthy. So I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to put it right into this bowl. Kind of break it up a little bit. You can see the mushrooms, the sesame, the rice got kind of just taken on by the soy sauce. Looks so good. Oh, and I just make like a little pile like that. Then I take 2 or 3 of these jammy eggs, perfectly cooked thanks to the aroma. Right, and again, you would never think cooking eggs in your rice cooker, but this works. Look at this. Oh, can we get close to that again, Richard? Because it looks so good. Oh, and then what I'll do is I'll add a little bit of these crispy shallots right on top. Because why not? It will add a little bit of texture, just kind of reinforce what's in it, and then some of those scallions. And I don't know, you guys. You could serve that in a restaurant. You could eat that on your lap. You take it to the park. It's
From
just
restaurant
so
to lap.
That's my point.
It's
It's like it flexes up, it flexes down, but it's one of the most well-rounded dishes I think we've ever cooked in this kitchen because it's so easy, it's so versatile, and that is the idea behind Aroma itself in this rice cooker, right? It's easy. It's not just for rice and grains. It's for so many different things. We talked about cheesecake. We talked about oatmeal. We talked about yogurt. Like, use it to all of its amazing ability. So let's try this out.
And summer's coming up, folks. I live in an apartment that gets amazing, amazing sun in the summer, and I just don't want to turn on my oven. The rice cooker's where it's at. Okay, what's happening over there?
That's very smart.
Okay, the full extent of the jammy egg.
Sorry, I'm having a moment.
Okay, we'll leave you two alone.
Okay. The only thing I can compare this to is a hug. It's just a hug. It's just a hug, period. End of story. It's like food that just wraps around your soul and makes everything okay. It's pure comfort. It is not rich, but it's umami. The soy is absolutely stunning. The rice is cooked to perfection. The richness of the egg yolks that are not flowy, but jammy, perfect. The brightness of the scallion on the finish, the crispy, crispy shallots. You will never go back. Like, I'm so happy you're here and got to experience this with me because this is just a winner every time. And again, you can make this all on your stove. You can have a million different appliances going at once. You could be boiling. You could be do it. Make it easy. Grab an Aroma rice and grain cooker. It takes care of it all for you, and it will do so much more. So check them out. If you've never heard of Aroma, now you have. And it's a total. I got one rice grain that just went right down. It is a total game changer.
I can, while you fix that rice grain, I can tell folks what we have next going on with Aroma. So we love our one-pot meals. We're going to make one-pot gochujang beef bowls. Insane. I'm going to put that link in the chat so folks can register. We're just so excited you joined us today. This was a really fun class. And if you liked our little trivia, let us know. We know it's highly intense.
Love that you want to be. I love the feedback on the trivia.
I need it.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you to the whole team here at Homemade. And thank you guys for tuning in. And we love you, Aroma, our beautiful partners in crime here to hopefully make the kitchen a little bit more approachable, a little bit more fun, and obviously a little bit more reliable at the same time. So remember, when you cook better, you live better. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time.